our first viola. This is a tiger viola. I got the seeds from Baker Creek. And there's another one right here. I think the back is like purple. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Oh my goodness. Cool. My first viola ever grown from seed. So beautiful. Wow. I'm just so amazed, honestly. It looks like the other one also might be flowering soon. So cool. Look at this little hummingbird in the tree. It might be a baby. I think there's a nest in this tree. They like to sit here and peck at the leaves, which I believe this is a maple, and they do release sap. There's probably a lot of bugs as well, just like that. This is a mom hummingbird, and on the left side you will see the baby fly up and scare the mom away, and then the baby will mimic exactly what the mom was doing. It is so cute. Oh my goodness. I believe this baby hummingbird is a fledgling right now. She's still depending on her mom. As you can see right here, that's the mom feeding the baby, and the baby is all puffed up. Oh my gosh, I just love them so much. I'm just adding a cup of brine to this because the sauerkraut has risen and the brine is still about like right here, but I would like it to be above the veg. It's creating CO2, which is making everything kind of rise. And so of course the brine level is going to be lower. I think eventually it'll go back down. I don't really know. I could also probably press it back down. I'm just gonna add a cup of brine to the top of this. God, it smells so good. Oh, I cannot wait. Ooh. Oh my gosh, the wind. Wow. Here the hummingbirds are again. This is during a rainstorm and they're both sitting there fluttering their wings. I thought it was so sweet, so cute. I've never seen anything like this before, and I just thought it was so cool to capture this moment. Two hummingbirds, a mom and a baby, during a rainstorm in a tree. It's just not something you see every day. The next day, I went and picked up 25 pounds of soft white wheat berries. I ran out, so I ordered some through Azure. And after that, I went to the garden. I got a new camera lens and I wanted to test it out. Here are some tomatoes. This is the komatsuna, some cilantro over to the right. This is the lettuce. Over here is arugula that is flowering and the pollinators are loving it. These are the onions. They look so, so good. Wow. The cabbage is getting so big. I'm actually really shocked. I did not know how this cabbage was gonna do, and it's doing awesome. This is Swiss chard, beets, and a patch of daikon. Behind them are potatoes. This is a tiger viola. It's so beautiful. Wow. These are super sugar snap peas, and they are so incredibly sweet. I love them. I'm gonna be so sad when they go away. These are just normal garden peas, and they're getting bigger and bigger. So exciting. And now it's time to harvest. When I get home, I always wash everything immediately. I usually soak the greens just to get off any bugs, dirt, whatever's on there. The greens usually have the most amount of bugs on them, so it's really important for me to soak them. I also always weigh my harvests. I I have a spreadsheet that I track everything with, and it's so cool to look back at last year's harvests and see how they compare to this current year. At this point, we've only grown around 7 pounds of food. That is way more than last year around the same time. I'm so proud of my 7 pounds of food that I've grown myself. I know that insects are not for everybody, but I love all animals, including bugs, and I know a lot of people do not like spiders. I really enjoy observing bugs in their natural habitats, and I really hope you can appreciate how cool this spider is. After hanging with my spider friend, I discovered that the daikon is bolting majorly, so we need to harvest it now. I ended up harvesting just over a pound of daikon. And then it was time for dinner. I cut up some komatsuna and added it to some roasted cauliflower. Threw it on a tortilla with some potatoes and a cilantro sauce, and that was dinner. Good morning. We are going to be preserving so many greens today. My fridge was overflowing with containers full of greens. We have a lot of kale and collards, which is really great. I'm actually shocked by how much kale I got, considering it was being destroyed by flea beetles earlier in the season. One thing about the kale and the collards are cabbage butterflies, so I've had to look through every single kale and collard leaf in the sink over there and look for cabbage butterfly eggs. They're kind of yellow and they stick out off of the leaf, so they're a little easy to see, but you cannot wash them away just with water and your fingers. You really have to scrape them off with your fingernail. It's so gross. I also saw a few aphids, but other than those two pests, that's it for the kale and collards. I have gotten so much Swiss chard this season. This is great, and I have cooked with it already. So beautiful. I love this light pink. I love this like magenta and The red is also so pretty. I love the veins on it. There were really no pests with this Swiss chard. Last year, I did not harvest this much at all. I'll put on the screen how much in grams total we got last year in Swiss chard, but I had a lot of issues with leaf miners. And this year, I didn't have really that many issues at all, just like a few leaves. For the most part, they just look like this. Of course, the grasshoppers love everything, so everything has holes in it from the grasshoppers, but I didn't have to pick anything off of these, which was awesome. And the komatsuna. I've already eaten so much komatsuna. I love it so much. It is great. It tastes like spinach. I noticed some of the bigger, older leaves, maybe like this one, they get a little bitter when you're cooking it, but I don't mind it. It actually is really good still, even with the bitterness. The komatsuna didn't really have any pests except for grasshoppers at the garden. Not really anything else. Super easy to clean. Highly recommend the komatsuna if you like spinach. So I am first going to be cutting all of the greens, and then I am going to blanch them. I am going to stick them into vacuum sealing bags and then pop them in the freezer. So everything is vacuum sealed and I'm gonna throw it into the freezer. So the collards and kale, I don't like the stems, so I usually just compost them and blanch the leaves for 2 minutes. For the Swiss chard, I cut the stems and leaves separately, but cooked them at 2 minutes, the same time as the leaves, because they're a little bit more tender. And I don't usually put it in an ice bath because I don't have ice. So I usually just run it under really cold water and try to get the heat off of it and then let it drain. For the komatsuna, I separated the leaves and stems and I blanched the leaves for 2 minutes. And for the stems, I blanched them for 5 minutes and then I mixed them all together again because the stems are gonna take way longer than the leaves and I want it to be really easy for me so I can just dump this in a pan and not have to worry about the stems cooking at a different time than the leaves. I also, once again, got peppers on clearance at the grocery store. They were looking fine, maybe a little wrinkly, but not bad at all. I got 6 yellow peppers for $2, not too bad. And then I sliced them, threw them into a vacuum seal bag, and then I just freeze them like that, no blanching necessary. It's so easy. My freezer is now so stuffed full of peppers. I think I'm good for a while. And also, this is just the beginning of harvesting so many things from the garden. That freezer is gonna get so full. I really want to run my dehydrator, but it's way too hot, so everything is going in the freezer, and if I want to dehydrate it later, I can always do that. But for now, into the freezer.